ポーカーからのレベルってどうやってやるのって聞いた。
あ、シンプルに。
クルーズとかからってことでしょ。
そう。なんかクライムはさ、フライトレベルチェンジをしてみたいな感じじゃん。
でも一緒じゃないの。
So when we climb and level, we use flight level change.
Yep, always use FLC for climb. For descent, we usually use VS. But later in your training, you'll use VNAV also. You can occasionally use FLC for descent, but that isn't typical. Most times you're going to use VS or VNAV for descent.
So if we push FLC, we can maintain the same speed while descending.
Exactly, yeah. But the problem with if you're doing like a high path like idle power descent, FLC can work pretty well because it'll just pitch to maintain whatever the set speed is. But if you're doing like a cruise descent when you don't have idle power, it's hard to descend in FLC because you're having to use power to adjust your descent rate. But that isn't how you typically fly an airplane, right? You pitch for descent rate and power for speed is how you normally fly. So go ahead, just push the engine button on the display control panel. Make the instruments big. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're already on the runway. So in order to take off, you're just going to drag the thrust levers to the...
Radar. How can we turn on the radar?
Oh yeah, good question. So for radar, turning on the radar, you'd push the radar button and then WX. And then return. Yep. So there's... Yep, so now...
So you have to turn it off when you're on the ground.
Once we land, it should turn back to standby mode automatically, but you want to check it. One of the after landing flow items is to verify radars and standby. But usually that happens automatically.
It seems like radar off.
Well, let me see. Push it again. Well, it says, I don't know, it says WX here, so let's just go with that. So,
When it's standby, this standby mode, it says standby.
yeah. So standby means off. We kind of use those interchangeably. And then,
What is plus T?
plus turbulence. But our actual sims and airplanes don't have the turbulence feature, so don't worry about that. It'll just say WX.
How about this one? What mode is this?
Let's see. That's LX is lightning. So I guess in the trainer it has like the lightning detection, but our airplanes don't really have that either. So in our actual airplanes, each PFD and the MFD, you'll have an option. You can either select terrain or radar. So normally, the setup for most flights will be both left and right PFD will be terrain, MFD will be radar. But if it's like on a bad weather day, maybe you decide to do PFD's radar, MFD terrain. It's kind of up to you. So all three displays can display terrain or radar, but not both. The same display can't display both.
So if we have terrain on PFD and radar on MFD, how can we turn on the MFD radar?
It's still the same process. Either pilot can push the radar button on their display control panel and turn it to WX.
Okay.
That'll turn it on all displays.
So this doesn't have terrain mode?
No, apparently the trainer does not have terrain mode.
これもない。
レーダー。
それだけ押してみたらテレになるとかじゃないの？
Yeah, so there will be an option. So it'll be that R2 line select key will toggle between radar or terrain.
In simulator, we can choose terrain.
Simulators like the airplane. It'll show choose either terrain or radar.
Okay.
で、
Take off.
Take off. Take off. あ、もういい。
Yeah, so all the way to forward. So in real life, these would not be red, right? This would all be green, because red would mean overspeeding, which the FADEC should always prevent from happening.
70% やってた
Right. So that wouldn't happen in real life. Okay.
Alright.
Yeah, so there's no yoke. So in order to rotate, just turn on the autopilot, and then now at VR it'll pitch to the flight director. All right, all right, there we go. V1 rotate, V2 positive rate gear up. There is no gear lever in the sim. After gear up, let's go heading flight level change.
Is it working?
Here you go, heading flight level change, and push it one more time. Okay, I don't know why it's not working.
あ、これだ。
ああ、一回じゃあそれするんじゃない？それ。 autopilot transfer.
Oh, it shouldn't matter, but okay, try it now. Yeah, heading flat level change. Okay.
Okay.
Normally it doesn't matter. Normally, regardless of autopilot transfer, either side can select modes, but for some reason in the trainer, and then roll that forward to set one. Okay, well, that's not working either. But in real life, the trainer isn't perfect. But in real life, you'd roll the wheel forward. That would increase the speed.
Here, the blue.
Yeah, so it says FLC, and then we'd set it so it says 160, and then FD would pitch down. So we've done that, and then yaw damper engine sync on. Okay, that's already been done. So pretty soon the mode will change to else cap. Yeah, once you else cap, there you go. So now it's going to start pitching down to capture the altitude.
Right.
So we usually climb and level at the same speed.
Not always. Initial climb speed is usually 160, but if you want to level off at 180, that's totally fine.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. There's no written SOP. It's whatever you prefer. Usually it'll be either 160 or 180. Keep in mind we're below class Bravo airspace, so maximum speed is 200 below Bravo. So I recommend either initial level off from gateway, either 160 or 180.
So this is not out mode.
Yep. Right. Now, yep, exactly. So we see how it went from FLC, else cap, and then once it got to 4,000, then L mode. Okay, so let's just say let's fly heading left turn heading 090, vector Zarnav Yankee 30 center.
Left turn heading.
So left turn, so minus.
090.
Yep.
あ、もうこれ旋回開始するんや。
早い
ヘディングモードだからか。
なるほど。
Okay, and then of course we already done the after takeoff checklist. We'll say so. Then next up is approach preparation. So we already got the ATIS. ATIS is the same. Then we'd set CDU. CDU we've already set the approach. So now let's set intercept course. So now we're getting vectors to final. So now let's delete the discontinuity. So set direct to otter.
Here.
Yeah. So first you have to take otter. So otter, copy to the scratch pad, and then put it to L2.
こうか。
そう。
And then intercept course 303, but it says 303 already, but you still have to see, like right now it shows a white dashed line direct present position, but we don't want to do that. So then push the line select, it already says 303, so just push the line select key. Okay, so now it's correct. So direct otter intercept course 303, and then you'd say modify.
What happened now?
We don't want the white line here.
Well, no, because the white line was showing basically going from our present position direct to otter. But we don't want that, right? We want to set intercept course 303 to otter because we're getting vectors to final.
Okay.
So then you push the line select key, and now we've selected intercept course 303.
So there was a number here, but it was not working, right?
Well, it automatically sets the final approach course, but
you have to push that.
But you have to push that, yeah.
So if we
Or
push that,
if the course is wrong, then you can also type it in and put it there. In the sim and the airplane, when you push that line select key, these numbers will get bigger. In the trainer, they don't get bigger.
so if we push that, the extended line is indicated. 一回エグゼキュートしてみる。
じゃあ押すよ。
はい。
エグゼキュート。
エグゼキュート。
Yeah, so all we did was we extended the final approach course. So rather than setting present position direct otter, we set final approach course 303 to otter. Because ATC is vectoring us to final. So now let's go ahead, let's make a right turn heading 210.
Right turn, then heading 210.
まああれか。人生で最初の状態はディレクトになってて、で、今はベクターにしたのか、ベクタートゥファイナルにしたってことだよね。エクセンデッドラインが出たから。
Okay, so we set CDU and final approach course. Now let's set our landing data. So, perf. Approach. Approach.
R3.
Approach.
Okay, let's say, so we have gateway 30 center, so that's correct. OAT 12.
Airport temperature?
Yeah, so that's OAT. So that's basically for the temperature from the ATIS.
Okay.
And altimeter is still 299 or 2, so you go next page. Okay, and then NIS off, everything within limits, landing factor 1.0 for flaps 35 landing, and VAP 105, VREF 97, you say ready to
ここで
send.
見えるんだ。
ここで見る
うん。
Ready to send.
Send.
So PM have to say VREF and VAP.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And then let's go ahead, turn
Is it-
right
is it-
heading 270.
Is it sent?
Yep, it's sent. Yeah, you can't see it because our speed's too high. So let's turn
Oh.
right heading, once our speed reduces, you'll see it. So let's turn right heading 270. Actually, let's just continue the turn heading 3. Yeah, we're pretty fast. Let's just continue heading 330.
ちょっとスロットル下げるか。
Actually, let's go heading 310, 320 is fine. Okay, and then we're cleared for the approach. So let's push approach and VNAV.
忙しいな。
Approach, VNAV.
これは VNAV なんだ。
Okay.
I thought that if we push approach, the lateral and vertical will follow, right? So should we have to push VNAV
For
also?
an RNAV approach, you have to push VNAV. For ILS approach, you do not push VNAV.
If it's ILS, we only.
We only push approach.
うん。
If it's not ILS, we should push VNAV.
Correct.
Why is it?
Well, so if it's an RNAV approach, we should push VNAV because that enables it to capture the vertical glide path. So now it's approach LNAV, VL, it says GP, well GP not armed, but GP should be armed.
電波じゃないからってことだよね、多分。
Slow down a little bit. Okay, let's see if it captures or not. I don't know. So now we've got our glide path alive.
So when it says only
Yeah.
LNAV, it means only lateral.
Yeah, so approach LNAV, that's the lateral mode, and now our vertical mode is, now it did capture, so now vertical mode is VGP. So now it's descending. Okay. Also, so then to set, we also would have, for preparation, we would have set our minimums. So we go refs, we always set BARA, we don't set RA minimums. And then let's see, for the LNAV, VNAV minimum, that's 1630. So we use that middle knob to set 1630. All right, yeah. And yeah, there's no geared flaps in the sim, but we can also sync heading bug.
Which autopilot system use the left?
Well, it's set to the left side. So that there's 2 arrows, but the bold arrow is pointed to the left side. So it means AP transfer is set to the left side, but both FGCs are currently working.
俺らは多分右だと。
If just there's just the arrow on the right, the left FGC is not working.
Well, I mean, yeah, both FGCs are always running, but if there's no arrow, then only it's only getting information from the left FGC.
Okay.
PA まで2マイル。オライエ。
これ VNAV をもし付け忘れてたら降下しないってことかな。
So if we didn't put VNAV, we can't descend anymore, right?
For an RNAV approach, correct. In order to descend with an RNAV approach, you would need to select VNAV.
Same as your approach.
Well, VR approach, usually for you can do a VR approach using VNAV, but usually for a VR approach, for you guys' training, you're going to use VS mode.
What is different?
We should calculate by ourselves or
そういうことってこと
Well, so VNAV's the easiest way to do an approach because it gives you a vertical glide path. But for for check ride, for testing, JAL requires, or JCAB requires dive and drive, a non-precision approach. So for VOR approach and training, you have to do VOR approach with VS down 1000 and then level off prior to Albany and then level off prior to, until the VDP,
Past the minimum.
But
ゴーランする。
It'll just put you back on the ground. It'll land on. So now we're back on the ground.
今完全にオートでついた。
ついた。
後でついた。It doesn't automatically change to the standby.
あれだ、アプローチできた。
I'm wondering that after we have runway inside,
Uh-huh.
how do we descend? Just cancel VS mode?
Well, it depends. So if you're doing an ILS or a RNAV approach using VGP, you can just keep the flight director on and do your composite scan, because the FD will give you proper guidance all the way down. If you're using VS mode, then you would go at at MDA, when you're ready to descend below MDA, you just order FD off.
でも自分でやるってことね、シンプルに。